I'm
Wow.
Don Herrera, and I hope you enjoy this. My God, I'm selling them after the show.
Yo, Dom.
All right, everybody. Big moment right here. First episode. Yo,
Whoa.
Dom. Me, producer Brian Licata, and arguably the best to ever touch a microphone. I know he hates to hear it. Dom Herrera. How are you, my friend?
I'm looking behind me to see if somebody really important. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Dom, you've been rocking the Beatles hat the past couple of times I've been around you. You a diehard Beatles fan? Diehard?
Again, because I like to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening today in music. These kids are good. Have you seen them? They won 5 Emmy Awards. They're not even here. There's only 2 of them. It's a shame George didn't die. I mean, shame Ringo didn't die and George lived.
Listen, I'm not even going to act like I know much about the Beatles. I was born.
Don't ask questions about.
Well, what I'm saying,
What's wrong?
I was born in '86, and some of the music that I listen to now, when I'm around young comedians, they think that they don't know who I'm talking about, because I grew up on like West Coast, East Coast hip hop. Like rap was big when I started listening to music. So it's like now they're into fucking Drake and Brian. Who's big now?
Man, I would even say, I mean, Drake is still big, but he's not like the new person.
Jack
I mean,
Harlow.
Jack Harlow is new. But did you ever see the Beatles live, Dom?
No, I'm not that old.
Did you ever see Sinatra live, Dom?
Yeah.
Really?
I worked with when they were changing the Golden Nugget to the Bally's in Atlantic City. He did the main room, of course, and I did the lounge. And they said, "Do you want to meet him?" I go, "Nah, but I'd like to watch rehearsal." That was cool. I don't want to meet him. I really like your work. That was that Academy Award for. I'd rather see them do what they do. You know, dance for me.
I'm the same way. I'm not the type to just. I'd like to just maybe watch them work or meet them and give a handshake or something like that. I was never into that. You know, asking for shit, trying to get somebody to like you. It's got to be organic.
Yeah. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to know about this. Like John Lennon. I don't want to know where his Aunt Julia lived. I want to hear the song or not the song. Yeah, do you hear me? Do you understand me, sons of bitches?
I went to.
She just woke me up, by the way. If I seem a little sluggish, I fell asleep watching the Phillies, as I do any baseball game I watch.
You think they're gonna make a run?
Well, I just like them to be run so the people of Philly are happy. I don't really care about them.
Ain't it interesting how the fans are in our city?
Oh,
How like if their team's losing, like they'll really get depressed. It'll ruin their month.
I was watching watching the Super Bowl when they beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
And a couple of Eagles fans go, "Yeah, they won now, but what are they going to do about next year?" They didn't even enjoy the moment, you know.
What do you think that is about Philadelphia that can't enjoy that? Because I grew up in the South Jersey area, but my dad was a New York sports fan. But I've always felt the depression from Philadelphia. What is that? What is it? What does the Philly depression come from?
They like to be miserable. They can't enjoy the moment. They do.
They get off on it. That's so true. It's my whole circle, my whole life. Oh my God. Don't you have it, Dom? You have a bit about that. My daughter, I got a rash on my ass, but you know me. That's one of my favorite bits.
That's my Uncle Joe. How's your Uncle Joe doing? Is that what it was? But I get a pain in my ass so bad I can't even sit down. But you know me,
I can't complain.
That's what it is. I can't complain.
It's a classic.
How do I come up with these zingers? You know, Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I never met her myself. Let's go. It's hello. It's the sound of the- Where did I lose you, folks? We used to write that. And, Nathan Lane.
Yeah,
Also,
the birdcage.
This is all about the name dropping. Nathan and Bruce Willis. They weren't hanging out, but they come in late night at Improv in New York, and we try and write things for that character. It was like, get off your high horses, come down off your exalted mountains, recede from your will plateaus. Hello, so much fun to write. Your hips are going, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh. And those guys would help me. And they weren't. Bruce was still a bartender, and then Nathan was just gay. He was working.
Brian, we got to edit that out,
no,
Brian.
definitely
Dom
not.
Herrera is
Come
going to get
on,
us
bro.
canceled.
No, yo, Dom.
That's it, Dom.
Whoa,
Dom, didn't you tell you said that Bruce Willis tried stand up? Didn't you say that? He gave it a shot.
Yeah, for a minute, but he was too good an actor to worry about it. He's a funny guy, but he's not funny stand-up wise.
Where was he working as a bartender at? Was that at the restaurant above the cellar, or did he work at the
No.
cellar, or was he just a bartender somewhere
he
else in
didn't
the city?
Somewhere right into the Improv.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he did very well with the women. I gotta say, he was the best. He
was
the
right-
best.
Was
He
he a
always-
better? Was he a better actor, or he's better at that? What was his main skill?
Oh, getting girls. When I get out of the group to make some money, they had auditions, and Bruce was one of the auditioner, and he didn't get the part. Is that hilarious? A guy that good?
Wow.
It's so subjective,
What was his big break? What was Die Hard?
Moonlighting. It was a TV show, and they did a one camera thing instead of like regular sitcoms. It was kind of innovative. And him and Sybil Shepherd, and he didn't like her at the time. He likes her now. She was. I did a roast for him a couple of years ago,
Yeah, I remember.
and she was there. Martha Stewart was. I had to follow Martha Stewart, and I was worried about following her. She was killing. I don't want to lose to this bitch.
Well, don't on those roasts, those Comedy Central roasts. Don't they got writing teams? Like someone told me they have the balls to like provide stand-up comics with material that they wrote.
Yeah, I did a couple of their jokes, but I just kind of went off on that guy Ed Norton.
Oh, you had a great set. Didn't you say a fucking guy walked by me in the hallway? Didn't even say hello.
Oh yeah.
You were like, I just want to crack that motherfucker.
No repercussions came back from that. I thought there would be something, but I guess they took it. I was just meant to be a joke with a little bit of sincerity to it. We're roasting Bruce, and he's like talking about himself. That's not what we came here for. Son of a bitch.
That was
Wait, that was
Ed Norton. He was the one that was doing that. Ed Norton.
Yeah.
that was all that the beginning of your set was all improv.
Pretty much.
Wow.
I got lost in reading the cards. I just started winging it. I mean, I really did it, so he get a laugh. It's sad when they can't find any guy has any friends. Some of those roasts.
Yeah,
we had a couple of them. But Dennis Rodman was sitting next to me, and he was drunk because he really wasted. And he's so tall. He's like 7 feet in heels. And he was he had to bend down to talk through the mic. It's such a fine line between name dropping and like with my cousins, my sister, they said, "Why didn't you tell us you knew Tom Hanks? Why didn't you?" I go, "You never asked." I'm not going to go around telling you who I know.
But that's not South Philly. Normally, a guy in South Philly that knows people in Hollywood, that's all he's going to talk about. They get off on that shit.
Yeah.
You at the Philly live show, I know you did a little crowd work. You got very personable with the audience. Great set, by the way. And I remember
folding chairs. They had folding chairs. You know how hard it is to keep people.
Yeah, I remember you saying after the show that you weren't crazy about the setup. But I mean, For-
I sat in the back, and I mean, I thought it was for something that wasn't stadium seating, that was all just a single level. I feel like that was the best they could have done. You know,
And,
Well,
and Dom, there was like, I think there was close to 900 people there. And then I remember you saying after the show that that was like the first time you did an hour in over a year.
yeah, because of the Panasonic. Oh, is this thing on? Panasonic. That's not. Yeah, yeah. That was. I never thought of it. That it would feel that hard until I did that night, because it came. It came to me. I practiced so much, 7 days a week. And I had to think about what I was going to do, because I did it so much. It was just like this cartridge would drop down, and I just go to it, wouldn't think about it. It really
That's interesting because, I like somebody like yourself that's been working hours for what, over 35 years. It's like you don't do it. You don't do it for a year and a half.
That's a lot.
It really takes a long time to build that muscle back up. Now, but I bet if you did a 5-show weekend, by show number 3,
Yeah.
But when you're working out your set out in LA, what are you doing in like 10, 20-minute increments?
20s at most, unless you ask for more time. Certain guys, Joe Rogan was my buddy, but he couldn't get off the stage. And Damon Wayans, certain guys, Eddie Griffin, not Eddie, Eddie Griffin, him. He'd stay up there an hour and a half, and he would say stupid observations like, you know what, we got to stop giving our kids guns and knives and give them pencils and papers and educate them. Who gives their kid a knife or a rifle to go to school with?
I guess comedians from Death Comedy Jam.
Yeah, geez, thanks.
Wait a second. Rogan was famous for running the light?
Well, no, but then he got really smart about it. He just asked for 2 shots, two in a row.
Oh,
So
okay.
then he wasn't, Joe wasn't a jerk like Eddie was a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell. I kind of feel from I just got into his podcast recently, but he seems like he's a pretty down to earth dude,
Who's this?
Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he seems like he's a really down to earth dude who just loves stand-up comedy.
They used to call him my little ball of anger, because I brought him around. We played a lot of pool together, and I brought him back to this comedy store, and that's what they could call him. Where's you? Hey, Dom, is your little ball of anger coming there? Because these guys they were all afraid of him. He's not going to hurt anybody. He's like, he was a Taekwondo champ in the Northeast section of the country, New England, and all that. But Joe wasn't a bully.
Yeah, well, first impression, you look at him, you feel like he's gonna. Yeah, I felt that way when I first met Brett Ernst. It's funny, that was one of the questions I asked him. I
The
was
Republican.
Like,
he's nice, man. Brett's
a down to earth guy too.
Yeah.
And I said to Brett, like, one of the first questions, for me, I'm opening for the guy. I was familiar with his work. I didn't know him. And I'm like, one of the questions was like, yo, Brett, I got to ask you a question. Who's the toughest comedian in the West Coast, pound for pound? You or Rogan? He's like, what the fuck we talking about this for?
It's not going to happen.
But I heard a story, a famous story on a podcast about Joey Diaz, Brett Ernst, and Sebastian getting into an altercation at the Comedy Store in the early 2000s. Were you around that night when that happened?
No, I was around the night when Joe went on stage with Carlos. I was there.
You were in the crowd?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
See, I used to use Carlos to get Joe to shoot bad shots in pool. I would start talking. I swear to God, I would start talking. I go, see what Carlos did today. What, that mother? He missed, because I couldn't beat him fairly.
Yeah, I've listened to his show. I mean, for a number of years. From what I heard, he's a pretty good pool player, right?
Very good. he said to me, I'd like to try out for the pro tournament. I said, you'll never make it. He goes, why? I said, because you're too good at other things. To shoot pool really well, you got to shoot 6 hours a day.
Right.
You can't just go there and I got winners. It's tough.
What was he always? Was he always a strong stand-up, Dom?
Not like he is now. I mean, not even close. He was more inhibited then. Now he's wilder. I used to go see him. He was doing what was that TV show that good news?
News
What?
radio. News
Yeah.
radio.
News radio.
Yeah, news
Good.
radio. Yep.
Dom, when you would mentor guys like and like work out on stage with them, and they were obviously like trying to break through before they made a name for themselves. I'm talking about like
You talking
This-
about
this-
yourself?
well.
He needs mentoring, Don.
No,
He
no.
needs mentoring.
I'm
He really
curious.
needs it.
I'm curious at the factory and at the store, like LA comics that are watching you work out your hour that you're going to do for a 5-show weekend, right? When you would see these guys night after night trying to find their legs, would you ever critique their act and go up to them and
No.
give them advice that way? Like, that bit, I wouldn't do that. You're better than that joke. Or would you ever
Yeah.
no.
I mean, I don't like it when people ask me. I'd rather be a fan or not. I don't like to sit in a room and judge them. It's so friggin' hard. Who am I to judge my squinty eyes and fat head?
Did anybody? Is that because?
What?
Is
Look at
is
it.
why?
That's all I can do.
Tom, you're really being hard on yourself today.
I hate myself today. Yesterday I was okay. Tomorrow it doesn't look good. You ever get these guys? I'll throw you for a fucking wall. And I said, my friend of mine was doing that, and he's always talking about this and throwing. I said, when's the last time you had a fight? He goes, I don't know, second grade. Well, what are you talking about? Like you know how hard it is to throw somebody through a wall? Is this a bit? Not yet.
I said that to somebody about a month ago. Dom, you're being really hard on me. I feel like you're in my brain. I say stupid shit like that. Meanwhile, I'm not. I'm the last person that would get into an altercation.
Nobody ever really fights, and the fights you see I remember watching cowboy shows when I was a kid, and a guy would hit a guy, and he'd go, and they come back and fight, and he'd get hit. That real fights are like 30 seconds. One guy suckers another guy, and the other guy breaks a glass over his head. All right, that's enough of that shit. That's a real fight.
What about the UFC? What kind of fighting's that?
Well, it's different. I mean, it's
I-
not. It's a organized sport.
It's amazing how they can take so many blows to the head because the guy doesn't have the position. Like boxing has more concussions than that has because the way the punches. I can't believe that, but it's true.
Yes, I think I heard something about like the size of the glove makes a difference too, because when you have that big glove, you're hitting all this surface area and it's like jostling your head around also. But then there's also a lot of wrestling too in the UFC.
I like to watch the girls. Something very erotic about that. I wouldn't want my girlfriend to be that tough, though. Would you? That'd be kind of like.
You never dated a muscular woman, like big shoulder blades, a little bit of a
big feet. I like a girl with big feet. Like you can punch her in the back of the head, and she just goes forward a little and springs back in the side.
I gotta tell you, man. I forgot to bring this up last time. You some of your Kill Tony moments they go down in history. Very early on, you would help out Tony Hitchcliffe, and you were on the panel for all those Kill Tonys. You look back. Did you know it was going to be what it is now? This show.
No.
Is it unbelievable?
Well, it brings in a generation to see me that wouldn't know me. So I didn't do it to calculate that, but it worked out good. A lot of guys in their mid-20s, and we run different ways, but That thing, they like to, I don't know, putting people on the spot. And imagine a minute they can't do. Guy would do like 35 seconds. You go, am I done? Well, you weren't, but now you're going to be asking about.
If you're done or not.
Yeah.
Dumb, but you got to be a certain type of personality.
I haven't seen one.
To sit on that panel. Like, I was talking to Steve Simone because I watched an episode where you and Steve were on it. And I said, man, Steve, the Kill Tony you did with Dom Herrera, I think it was like episode 3 or 7. And Simone said to me, he goes, I could have did a lot of them, but I'm not the type of guy to talk shit about, like, even if it's jokingly, I can't do that to a new comedian. It takes a certain type of guy, even though, Dom, I know you were fucking around for the show.
Right here.
But some of the things you said were just like, oh my God.
I never saw one of them, but I'd like to see
Are you
it.
serious? Brian, can we pull up some of his highlights from Kill Tony?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull one up. Yeah.
Dom, you were fucking reckless. You got a beer in your hand. You're drinking. It's nuts. There's one episode. There's a porn star that goes up there and does a minute.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you're like telling her, what's your name? Oh yeah, I'm familiar. I love your work.
Yeah, I really believe you were hungry when you started eating that girl. Yeah.
You remember what episode that was, Rinaldi?
No, just type in Kill Tony Dom Herrera. It's got like 300,000 views.
I know, but there's a ton of them, bro.
No, it'll be highlights.
We got a lot of reactions to that thing you sent out last week.
Oh, Dom,
yeah.
Dom, your first Instagram reel that you ever posted that Brian helped you chop up, 400,000 hits.
Wow. I
That's
couldn't believe it. I swear to God, I was thinking, I hope I get a couple of hundred people because I don't know how good I was going to do. I was blown away by that.
You're so full of shit.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I didn't think it was going to get that many views. I think that's awesome. And it was material from what? When was that? 99, I think that clip was from. Something like that.
Yeah, but Dom, it's interesting with these Instagram reel comedy clips right now. If you have high quality clips, like well shot, and you have jokes that are well tagged and are less than a minute long, the kind of attraction you'll get is unbelievable. And I feel like that's kind of like your style, right? Like punchline, you tag a lot of the jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you continue to post them, I don't know if you're intending on to continue posting a lot of your material in there, but it's kind of weird how like now people shoot their special and then they chop it up into these little clips for free.
Well, I didn't know that.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. That was set up pretty well, that joke.
Yeah. It was a good one.
Did you find it, Brian?
No, I mean, Steve, there's a bunch of them, Steve. I mean, which one were you talking about?
If you, I'll look on my phone. If you, there it is.
This
First one.
Yeah, but it's an hour long.
Yeah, it's all episodes a hit. It's all.
Yeah. No,
this
is just the fourth episode, bro. This one right here. Oh, this one?
No, the first one that you just passed. It's multiple episodes.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. It's
keep clicking it. Go in the middle. It'll be a different person.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Kill episode 100. Kill Tony 120.
I see.
It's all highlights of Dom. Missy Martinez. That's the porn star.
This is okay.
I'm telling you, he was reckless.
All right, hold on. Can you guys hear this?
That was so fucking wrong. Yeah. First of all, I disqualify myself because I'm a fan.
That's the porn star.
I've been watching you since I was a kid, and I love your work. Especially the girl things.
Thank you.
No,
I'm so honored. It's so weird. Thank you.
You know what's weird? I'm fucking dead serious. I've watched your whole career.
That is so awesome.
I've watched you grow.
That was his dick hand.
Fuck yeah.
It's so funny because Dom's being 100% true or honest right now. He met Dana Diarmond recently, and he says like, I can't even watch her videos now that I've met her.
No, yeah, but I couldn't jerk off to her anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you, that's another story. I still got a little load left for you.
That's love. That's love.
Dom, you're out of your mind.
Oh, Missy, huh? They grow up so fast, don't they?
When was the last time you seen her, Dom?
I never saw her again. You mean in film?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's time is it?
I like how you call it film. It makes it just sound
That's
so
pretty-
much, it makes it sound so much classier.
What's that? Which?
That you're
What-
saying the film. Or,
You didn't call it porn.
or in cinema.
That's really exciting to see that, because it's like, you forget how cool a moment that was. I didn't realize everybody was there like that. You better come up with something funny.
Dom, ain't it crazy that stand-up comedy, anybody will try it?
Well, because
Actor, musician, reality star, porn star.
look, when somebody dunks a basketball, somebody's flying, and you can't say, "Oh, I could do that," because you can't. You'll never do it. It's just not gonna have. But when you're just talking with a mic, if you're so deluded, Jeff Garland,
Yeah.
he's so deluded that he did well, that it's amazing. He goes, I see guys come up to him, "Hey Jeff, how'd it go?" "I killed, man." Now, if he thinks killing is people staring at you and too polite to yawn or look at their watch, then he's a good actor, he's a good writer, but he's terrible stand-up. He's my cousin. I'm sorry, but he's so deluded. I mean, like, to me, it's like they're supposed to laugh, and they're supposed to laugh hard because you're getting a lot of money. They're not supposed to be polite and clap it and.
That's
You know,
that's the shittiest feeling. I mean, I'm nowhere close to your level, not even. But I'm saying, when you get paid to do stand up, and you do okay, it's the shittiest. For me, I feel like it's the shittiest feeling in the world. Like you have an okay show. If you don't perform up to your expectations, because you know what you're capable of.
Well, that's why that hour was so hard the other night, because I was thinking, hey, I'm trying, but it ain't happening. Like I want it
Philly
to happen.
Live?
Yeah.
Dom, you're your own worst critic. It's Brian was talking about when you were talking about how people get offended by words, and you started saying some really, really mean words like.
There was three people in the crowd laughing at some of those jokes. There was a person in front of me, there was myself, and the older black woman behind me that were both howling at a few jokes.
Yeah, and Dom, you went like this. You went, "Oh, I got a howler," and then the crowd erupted because you said a joke and a gesture that 15 years ago. People, their assholes wouldn't get tight.
Yeah.
Now it's like I don't understand it. If comedy's like this in 2022, what's it going to be in 2040?
Now gay is not appropriate. What's replacing gay?
Well, your gay joke, by the way, is one of the funniest of all time that you did on Dangerfield. How he turned gay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those aren't widely accepted much anymore.
That's not a bad joke, though. When
No,
he said,
no, I'm not saying it's a bad.
no,
bad joke at all.
I don't think
it's-
that's the type of joke that would offend somebody.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Dom can still do that bit. He
Yeah.
says, "Oh, he turned gay. He turned gay." And Hi.
It's weird how, like, I mean, I think in the 60s and 70s in Canada, people were still getting fined for some
Really?
jokes. Yeah, like I know there's some stuff you couldn't say up there. Even in the US, I think people were getting fined in
Yeah.
probably the 50s maybe, or the 60s for saying stuff.
I don't know. I can't imagine that. What was it the gay thing? I said, if I think like certain words, I said I won't give up, and one of them's faggot.
That was what you said the night of Philly Live. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was howling at.
No, you just said I can't adjust to today's time, and you started saying all these words. You were like, they're just words, and you started saying it. Well, the whole crowd was fucking. And then what you said was, "Oh, I got a howler in the back," and they all erupted.
Is this on? Is this thing on?
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, the one joke that really didn't work polite. I said I punched my girlfriend in the face last night. Don't get me wrong; she was asleep. I was just reading a book about boxing. I wanted to see if you could knock somebody asleep, whatever. And that doesn't have the juice it used to have. There's certain things that are just not going to work for a while. But the N word, that's one I can't. I'm not going to say. I don't need to say the word, but I'm not going to say N word. That's just too stupid.
Yeah.
It's like
Do you feel like moving forward that adjustments are going to have to be made if people want to continue to work the circuit?
well, they can't
that,
do it.
that. There's going to be more and more rules, or you have your audience and that's it. You're going to do what you do.
Yeah, it's got to go back to more normal again. I don't think it's going to last. I mean, that thing they did to Chappelle was ridiculous.
Yeah,
They fired him before he got there. Why'd you hire him?
right.
You know, I did a gig one time when these women had the Pakistanis with the things in the thing in their head, and I said to the guy, "Are you sure you've seen my HBO special?" Because he said it was on that. I said, "Yeah." I said, well, "I'm going to tone it down." He goes, "No, do what you do." I started doing what I do, and some guy stands up. He goes, "You're killing my people," and he falls to. I go, "Let's get out of here." Me and my girlfriend, she had like $2,500 in her hand, like a baton. She handed it to me, and I jumped in the car and we took off. But it was like, I don't want to hurt somebody like that. You're breaking my heart. It's like, geez.
Yeah.
It's just.
I feel like Dom, you have a following and people know what you do. You shouldn't change your style. That's not something that someone like yourself would do. It's part of the process. Like I just watched a documentary on Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah,
I had no idea when he did those 9/11 jokes. He got dropped by it lost a lot of money.
Affleck, was it that bird or something?
Something like that. He was in a commercial, and
I remember.
he was
Affleck.
he was
Affleck. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I don't know if that's the name, but he did these 9/11 jokes. Oh no, it was a hurricane, Japan.
Oh,
Brian,
right.
Brian, look it up. So he did something like he did some jokes 2 days after catastrophe. Anyway, to make a long story short, the fucking guy he never recovered after that. He got dropped.
He made tweets after an earthquake and tsunami on Twitter.
That's it.
Yeah.
He rapid fired a bunch of material about it, and his agency dropped him, and he never bounced back. He was doing theaters, corporate gigs. What are you reading? You're reading the tweets?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the tweets because maybe they're funny.
I really like that seeing that Kill Tony thing. I forgot everybody who was at the dais there, and it was a cool moment.
Wait, how many times did you do it? You remember?
I did it the most of anybody, but I don't remember. I mean, that's what he tells me, because he knew he didn't get me in football season at all. I stopped doing it in September and I started doing it again at the end of January.
And why wouldn't you do it during football? You would tape it on Sunday nights and Mondays?
No, I just wanted to watch it live on Monday night.
Oh, so he would do a Monday night show, Tony Hitchcliff.
Yeah, that's when it was Monday night. And it started in the belly room, the small room, then went to the big room.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. People know Tony because of that show?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's how I know. That's how I know about him. I mean, I know him from Rogan too. I mean, that's how I found out about a lot of newer. Well, I mean, he's not new anymore. Hinchcliffe. He's been around for a long time, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like that whole circle of comedians, Dom, you kind of mentored, like Tony Hinchcliffe, Joe Rogan, Ari Shafir. These are all guys that like have a huge following that you kind of took under your wing in LA, right?
I think Joe did more than I did for them.
Oh, really?
I don't go around like trying to preaching to kids and stuff. What do I know? I mean, I'm just trying to. It's still hard for me to write a joke. You know, you think it gets easier? It just gets to me. It's like so hard to make all those components, like that thing that we sent out. What's it called?
The reel, the Instagram reel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like to get that little thing like that, it's so hard. I didn't even do it consciously, but like that's one joke I can look at and go, that's kind of close to as being as good as I could get it. You know.
It's actually really funny to hear you say that, because when I'm editing, it's, I'm trying to do like a visual representation of your joke too, and try to punch in on things that I think you would want to go in on. And when I was editing that, I could tell how tight it was,
Yeah,
It wasn't like it was like with video editing, it's kind of like the visual storytelling, and I could kind of tell how tight it was when I was doing it, when I was trying to make the edits. I don't know if that makes sense,
yeah.
but it was pretty cool to see.
Dom, what was your writing style? Did you always just get up on stage and work it out, or were you a pen and paper?
A little bit of both, but more on stage or in life. I said that I was a bouncer at Doc Watson's, right? A bouncer, and the bartender, I didn't have a shot with her, but I tried, and I said, "Look, I guarantee you 3 screaming orgasms a night. I don't know what you do, but I scream like crazy, like a little." And I didn't mean it to be like a little bitch in heat. And she's laughing and all. I still didn't get her, but she laughed. But those kind of jokes, it just happened to be a real life thing. I didn't want to really hit her with like a serious. So I didn't want to be rejected like that. I'd rather her laugh or not laugh. But that's how some of my better stuff is improvised first.
Like working out at around people off stage.
Yeah, I don't do it on purpose, but it's just natural. Like I remember my father left home when I was in 2nd grade, and I did that joke. I was doing All My Children, a sitcom. I mean, not a sitcom, a soap opera.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yep.
And I was sitting there and I just wrote it like I wish I could do that. But my father didn't pick up other kids. It picked up other kids in the school. Remember that joke? It's convoluted now, but
Yeah, I think you did it on your HBO special.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, a while back.
Back in the day.
Well, you didn't do it. You didn't do it in Philly.
Nah, yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
the joke.
I watched.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
watched a
don't know.
good portion of that set. I like your new closer that you've been doing the past couple of years about a women's sex. You never hear a guy talking about his daughter's sexual prowess.
Yeah, that is my daughter taking on 10 guys. She always loved Jism, that kid.
You got a sick mind, Dom.
Thank you.
Yeah, you closed Bruce Willis's roast with that.
Well, because his daughters were sitting right in front of me.
That's sick.
So they're right in no, but I know them, since they're little girls. And I'm thinking this is going to be very offensive or very funny, but it ain't. There's no middle ground on this.
Yeah, he was in tears. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool, man. That you guys both became successful, and at one point I heard you say at the roast you guys were like dead broke and poor.
Did I say that? Yeah.
You say that while you're up there. I don't know how true it is, but
We were pretty poor. And
that's New York or LA?
Philly.
Oh, in Philly. Okay.
Oh no! What do you mean? Oh, I thought you meant
You and Bruce Willis come like when you guys were trying to break into show business. You say at the roast when you're up there, you say, "I remember Bruce when we were first starting out, how broke and how poor we were.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. We both became successful out here, you know."
Well, he was a natural.
Did he hit before you did, or the Dangerfield special came first?
I don't know. He knew me. I didn't know him, but it's, he was doing plays. That's why, I was doing, but that's especially in the old, now everybody has a special, 10 specials, whatever. You can make your own special. You see what Louis C.K. does.
Mm-hmm.
Does the whole thing. I mean, it's a different world, but I just don't think that, I think they put out some stuff, and I don't want to get judging other comedians. They put it out too fast. Like even George Carlin at the end, if he'd have done like 2 years behind, I think they would have been much better. But that's that's your choice.
What do you think that choice? What's that come down to? Does it come down to they need money?
No, they have people, people around them. That's fine. Let's go keep that, and it should be honed more.
Right.
But that's why when you asked me about going up to and helping comedians, it's not my business. It's like if somebody asks me something, I don't think I'm the sage that's going to help you, but I'll give my opinion. But
were you always open to comics like giving you constructive criticism, or you hated it?
Yeah, I pretty much hated it. I mean, Jay Leno did that to me when I first moved out to LA. And he
Really?
said, I called him up. I go, Jay, I don't know you very well, but who the fuck asked you for a critique? Yeah, I was just trying to help you. Don't help me. Do me a favor.
I remember. By the way, your other podcast you do live at the Dom Herrera live at the Laugh Factory. Guys, you got to listen to it. Dom's still doing it. It's no longer on YouTube. It was, but in one of the episodes, you talked about 9 years ago. Jerry Seinfeld popped in at the Laugh Factory and he was working out, and he comes up to you in the green room, and you guys have been friends for years, and he goes, Dom, you mind if I go up before you? And you were like, you said, Jerry, I know you my whole life. You're trying to fucking bump me. You're like, who the fuck are you?
I said, who? Yeah, I mind. I'm here ready to go on. Do you have an emergency at home? I'll gladly step aside and let you do it. Yeah. But that's because you feel like it.
That's bizarre. You guys are friends. Like that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like common courtesy.
Yeah.
I don't think for me, the Philly comedy scene, the Chicago comedy scene, you didn't have nearly as much ego as you probably have out west. It's got to be tough to keep your mouth shut. You're probably biting your tongue though it bleeds.
I don't really get into it that much. All I want to do is survive the day. Look at me falling apart. Music, please. Oh, music. No, I don't really. It's not my business, The helping people, I'm not St. Francis of Assisi. I don't know.
Are you a practicing Catholic, Dom Herrera?
I got it down. I don't need to practice. No, if I'm having some, like if I want to win, like a football bet, I'll pray to God. Important stuff, important things in life.
Were you an altar boy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Saint Nicholas Valentine?
No, that was when I was a baby and until about 8. Then we moved to West Philly. We moved to 49th Street, where Will Smith, that son of a bitch. Like,
yeah, what do you think about him going up there and?
I think it was such a pussy move, and I hate him. I hate him. I mean, Chris Rock is one of the nicest people you ever meet, and he has no attitude, no ego. Like he comes to the Comedy Store without a bouncer. Eddie Murphy used to bring 3 bouncers with him. I said, "Who's going to want to get at Eddie Murphy? He's a great actor. He's so." Robin Williams would walk in, nobody with him. Mind if I sit here, guys? Hey, Robin. No, it's all comedians, just different levels.
Right.
Yeah. So when you seen that Oscar thing, it was jaw dropping for you.
Oh man, yeah. I was surprised. I was really pissed off. Everybody was pissed off at that. Chris handled it well. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
Slap him back.
Nah, you know what I thought? If this guy really had a personal vendetta with him, See him after the show. Go up to him in the hallway
He
backstage.
didn't have anything. He was just crazy.
Yeah, I feel like to do something like that, you got to have a lot of shit going on at home.
You think it was? Do you think it could have been staged? Do you think it was staged? I mean, a lot of people were talking about that.
No.
No.
Dom,
But,
over the years, have you seen a lot of physical altercations on stage, or that's becoming, or it's been just the past couple years?
I never saw one. I never saw anything like that. I did see this Australian guy get suckered in Manchester, England. I forget his name. But anyway, it was funny because he crawled off and then he came running back. He crawled off the stage. Remember that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, he gets suckered. The guy runs out of the audience. It's a pretty tough town anyway. Manchester. It's like a real factory worker town. You know.
Blue collar.
Yeah, blue collar. You see it, Brian?
Yeah. I'm looking up it up right now.
Hurry
Ah.
up. That's the Jerky Boys. Remember the Jerky Boys? Hurry up. He pulls large pieces of furniture out of his ass. Remember that? I love those guys. I did a radio show with those guys, the Jerky Boys. They had no idea how big they were.
Really?
I mean, probably, now they would, but I mean, at the time, really? They're saying to me, they go, yeah, we quote you every day.
That's crazy. You got it,
Oh,
Brian?
was this Jim Jeffries?
Yeah, Jim Jeffries.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking Jim Jeffries.
You didn't know
Oh
that?
shit. Yeah, I didn't
didn't-
know that this was the story that we were talking about was Jim Jeffries. Oh shit.
Love his song.
Bat's pushing it inwards. So when you hang on.
Oh shit. Jeez. That's crazy.
Good show.
I'm killing.
I wonder
No,
I wonder what he said.
I don't know.
Yeah. he
Dom,
just
in all these years, you never pissed anybody off to that point?
Oh, not to that point, but I
Jesus Christ.
pissed a lot of people off.
Anybody try to come up to you after a show?
Nah,
That's unbelievable.
that is unbelievable.
No, I'm just saying because you're a ball breaker. And a lot of people they get funny about that.
You got a problem with it?
No, I don't got a problem with it. I know you'll slap the shit out of me.
Yeah, right.
Look at us. We got the headphones on. We're like South Philly broadcasters. They should make us call the Eagles game. Can you imagine?
Yeah, right.
You excited about the Eagles this year? What are you thinking?
I don't know.
They win more than 10 games.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah.
No,
Easy schedule in the beginning. They got to go 3-1 right off the gate.
They,
The past couple
they're in
years,
Detroit the first game.
yeah, and the past couple years they're sloppy in the beginning of the season. So,
and the
I don't
rest of
know.
the season.
Bri, I don't sweat.
I
I don't sweat sports no more. I can give two fucks. Meanwhile, I'm wearing a $57 hoodie. I have no business wearing it. I'm a real asshole. Still
You're not-
supporting the colors.
You're not gambling on the games anymore, are you?
Nope. Dom, let me tell you what I do now. I'm in a survivor pool. Do you know what that is?
It's like suicide. If you lose one game, you're out.
Put $100 in.
Yeah,
You pick one team a
that's
week.
impossible.
If you hit it and you're around by week 14, week 15, you win like 45 grand. But you
Yeah,
got
it's so hard to be in it.
you can't use the same team twice. I use a different team every week. It keeps me under control. The only Philly people say that. Keeps me under control to my addiction.
I think football's so much fun, and every game's important because there's only was it 16.
No,
16
they
games.
upped it. 17 now.
Yeah, there's 18
They added
weeks,
a
yeah.
game.
Yeah, added a game. But yeah, I mean, it's not like baseball or basketball. I mean, basketball is a crazy long season. It's impossible to pay attention to that.
Oh, I had a joke about baseball. It's like, all right, guys, we got 170 more games. We got to get it to, we got to tighten it up. It's so meaningless. And then they come to all these games and they come to a wild card. Although he busted their chops for all that time, and they have one.
A one game playoff.
Yeah.
Nah, but
Playoffs.
the money you make in sports. Can you imagine a career? It's like 8 to 10 years. What do you do with the rest of your life?
You get girls, you get houses, get a boat, a private plane. These are some of the things you do.
Wait, you had a bit about that with Jerry Seinfeld. You're like, Seinfeld, what's he doing? He hasn't done nothing since 1997.
Trying to spend $1 billion.
It's great. That's unbelievable, man. Well, Dom, listen, this was a lot of fun. And
Good to see you guys. Thanks.
it's only the beginning. Yo, Dom.
You're not gonna break into song, are you?
Well, no, I'm just saying we can do this next week too, right? You're not giving up yet, right? We had fun.
It was fun.
My
It was-
man.
Je t'aime beaucoup. Oh no, that's French. Excuse me.
Brian, you want to say something awkward before we close this out?
This was a wonderful show. Yeah, we'll see everybody. We'll see everybody next week, same time, same place. Yo, Dom.
Dom, you're the man. Thank you,
Thanks,
buddy.
boys. Good
Adios.
seeing you.
Talk soon, brother.
Adios.
My man.
Ching, ching. I'm selling them after the show.
Yo, Dom.